Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. It is Wednesday. We are your two favorite women showing up 7 p.m. Central Time on the Fuel Sports Network. It is the A Team. That is my co host, Amanda. I am Amber, as always. And we've got a pretty awesome show. What do we got in store, Amanda?
We have Marcy tonight from the women's flag football team, the Logos. Cannot wait for her to come on and talk about it. Amber, real quick before we do, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. It's been a phenomenal week. Spring is here. I'm tired of the snow. I'm glad that you guys are keeping it up north where it belongs.
Mm-hmm.
Why I live in Texas.
And don't forget to turn your clocks spring forward.
Forward. That's right. That's happening this week.
On March 9th. So everybody stay tuned for that. But without further ado, let's bring on Marcy from the women's flag football team. Hello.
Welcome, Miss Marcy.
Hello, ladies. How are you?
We're doing good. How are you today?
I can't complain. It's a Wednesday night, and we're having a heat wave here in Missouri compared to last week. So there you go. I'll talk weather with you guys, too.
Well, you're obviously jack of all trades. Okay, so let's get into it. First off, 15 players went to the 2025 flag football nationals. And how was that? That was in Orlando. Tell us a little bit about that.
So it was definitely an experience and a new experience for a lot of our girls. We played in the United Flag Football League National Championships down in Orlando. And it was different in the aspect of the teams down there. You can take a 35-man roster, right? We went with 15, like Amanda said. And it's interesting to see the different styles of play. A lot of the teams or like maybe the East Coast teams play more of a running game, where our league here in the St. Louis area, we do a lot of throwing, route running, and pass playing. So it really stacked up to be some really good competition. We went into the tournament ranked 14th out of 14. Part of that, the way the UFFL ranks you is based on other tournaments and things of their sanction that you've played in. So we went in, we showed up. Our very first game out, we played the number 1 seed team. We won 6-0. We won 6-0 in that game. I'll say I had the touchdown on a blocking back release, but which they were completely clueless to. We didn't see very many other teams do any kind of releases with their offensive lines, but I have to give props, and my offense might kill me, but I have to give most of the props to our defense. Our defense was stellar the entire tournament. So
what's the old thing? Defense wins championships, right?
That's right. That's right. So our defense, out of 6 games, they allowed 7 points, and that was 3 minutes left in the championship game. They allowed 1 touchdown and 1 extra point.
That's amazing.
So our first 5 games, they allowed no points scored against us. Lots of interceptions. They had a safety. So I have to give the props to them. Again, my offense might kill me, but our defense really came and showed out for us. I mean, just the number of quarterback sacks from our rushers and that defensive line. Our middles were getting those interceptions. So, I mean, it was just phenomenal down there. It was just a great experience.
So let me get this straight. You and your team are half the manpower, dead last, and you go to win the whole shebang.
No, we got second.
That's all right, man. That's awesome.
We lost 7-0. So we got second. So the defense, 3 minutes left in the championship game, and
that's still, man.
It just happened.
That's pretty phenomenal with a 15-woman roster.
And I have to say, and nothing against the other teams, but a lot of the other teams had a lot of size on us too, a lot of height on us. And just overall size and strength on us. But, when you've got the determination and the work ethic that we have and just the overall competitiveness that our girls possess, it's a whole different world. So, and another thing that I think our team strived with over some of these other teams down there, we have a mental capacity on the team. We don't let what the other team's doing affect our game. We don't let the trash talking, we don't let the back and forth, we don't let the complaining necessarily rock our style. So we try to let that go and play our game no matter what's going on the other sideline. So I think that really helped us down there too.
So I want to ask you,
Sure.
why flag football? Why not? Because we have St. Louis Slam, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, don't some St. Louis Slam players play for Logos too? Or
they kind of interchange?
So we have a couple. We have a couple that play on Slam. So there are some girls that go back and forth. There's some players on Slam that have played 10 plus years on tackle, and they've played equivalent or more in the flag league. Just thinking about our league in general, I would say, just throwing this out there without the hard facts, in our St. Louis league, flag league, there's girls on every team that play or have played on the tackle team. Okay. So it's very different style of play, in my opinion. You've got 11-man tackle, you've got 8-man flag, but it's still competitive. It's still football. So keeps everybody going. It's a community.
Is that what draws you more so to flag football than tackle?
Oh, I'm old. I'm not trying to go out and play tackle. I'm old. I gotta go to work. I gotta go to work tomorrow.
Okay, no. I got BS on your BS right now because I have seen you play, and I'm sorry, but I'm not buying that because you can really.
What's old?
And all that. So,
because I'm telling you, Marcy, if you're old, I'm ancient.
And
I don't want to be here yet.
Do it for you, Marcy. What goes into what do you do to prepare for these games?
So that's a little bit of a loaded question. So back in my earlier years of play, I definitely put in a lot more work, and learning the style and learning the game and learning the positions. There's a lot of that goes into it. You can understand the game of football. You can understand the NFL. You can understand how the rules work and things like that. But when you get out there and it's a completely different game, then you have to learn those strategies and different things. And so, for me, a couple of years ago, as I started aging in the league and, just not feeling the best and feeling comfortable where I am, I started a CrossFit gym 2.5 years ago, which really stepped me up and has allowed me to continue to play to 40. There's been several women throughout the league over the years that have played, into their 50s. One of our coaches, for example, played to 51, I think she was, when she retired. So the age gap is very, very large.
So you're telling me there's hope for us yet, huh? Amanda, you ready to do that?
I don't know about that. My dad does try to talk me into doing something like that because
you can wear blue.
Hey, listen, I'll wear anything as long as I can just stand there and not be touched. Don't touch me.
So this is a contact league,
contact sport,
and a contact division.
Yeah,
so you probably will get touched.
Take that anger out.
To Jason right here says, Marcy, you ladies were making some hits in flag football games. So yeah. And then you guys had a championship too in Forest Park.
Yeah,
we did
too.
We did. So we have the St. Louis Women's Flag Football League here that we play in. For people who maybe aren't aware of it, the league's been around over 40 years. And it has at times went from 4 to 5 teams at smallest up to around probably 10 teams at the largest. And it's a whole community. Yes, there's different teams, but you know people on the other teams. You're friends with them. You see them outside of the game. And so this year we were able to win the league championship as well as the league tournament championship. So, we're fortunate. Same girls that we took down to Florida, with the exception we had a couple extras join us to fill some gaps from some of our girls who couldn't go. So, we're fortunate. Our girls come out and work hard. They're methodical thinkers. And, it's just, it's a family almost,
Nice.
So, yeah.
Question.
So then, in the future, you've got some instances where the scheduling may not be conducive to some of the players, or how does that work? Is there leniency throughout the league for that kind of thing? Because we're dealing with women, working moms, single moms, professionals, all of that kind of stuff, all sort of ties in. So I'm just curious: do the players get penalized for not showing up 100% of the time?
So, as far as not showing up 100% of the time, that really goes team by team. Obviously, for us, we want our girls to be as dedicated as they can be. We ask you show up to practice because then you know what's going on, and your offense and your defense mesh when you're able to do that. But and our coaches would tell you this. We understand that things happen. We understand that people have to work. We've had women on our team who were in law enforcement and work every other weekend, and just different swing schedules and stuff like that. So one thing we do, we just try to know that up front, and the girl that quarterbacks for us in our fall league, in our St. Louis league, she couldn't go with us down to Orlando. So one of the other quarterbacks within the league on a different team went with us. And our quarterback for flag was the MVP for the St. Louis Slam as a receiver. So you have different roles, and so you don't always play the same role from place to place and things like that. But there's a lot more that goes into it than just showing up on Saturday to play.
I'm glad to hear that all of the women help each other out throughout the league. I like to see the camaraderie there and supporting not just each other, but the league as a whole. I think that's a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm. So talk to us about the coaches.
Great. About our coaches?
I haven't met Trish yet, but I have spoken with her. Jason has met her and adores her. So kind of explain that dynamic with the players and the coaches and how that works.
So for the Logos, we have two coaches. We have Trish Van Fleet, and then we have Jonelle Coleman. Both former players, both retired players. And so Trish will tell me that Logos came about when they were wanting to add more teams. So she did not play on the Logos. She helped originate the Logos, came over from a different team that she played on and retired from to start the Logos to help build the league. Obviously, you want the league to grow. You want to have more. So it's really like the mom-dad situation going on, kind of pseudo. If you ask one and they say no, you might go ask the other one. But they're very different. Jonelle Coleman, or Judge, we call her. She's more serious. She's very methodical. She works on all of our offense and helping our offense and our quarterback build the plays and just really strategically putting all that together. She's a huge Patriots fan. We won't hold that against her. And then Trish really mans the defense. And, she's the head coach, but she's taken on this role over the years that she kind of, she's the sit back, the laugh and joke. She's going to be on the sideline eating all the sunflower seeds. But if you need some, whether it's related to football or not, either of them, I could call either of them at 3:00 in the morning and say, I need you. And they would be there. and it would be great for you guys to get both of them on here together. That would be fantastic because you'd really see the dynamic and how they work together and stuff like that.
Yeah, we'd like have to double our time out for the show to make sure I like turn it into a special just to have the back and forth between the two of them, because they sound like they're just magnetically opposite of each other.
They are a little bit. Yeah, they are a little bit in their styles, but then yet they work really well together.
Yeah.
And the two of them, they do. And everybody learns or feels or communicates differently. So even if you're an offensive player and really judges your main contact and your coach, maybe you have that better connection. So they work really well together too, to just bring everybody together. So it's just really fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah.
So talk to us about the Hall of Fame. And
I was waiting for like, when are we gonna get the brag moment? This is the brag moment. Marcy Dotson, the Hall of Fame. Come on, sell yourself, brag it out. Tell us a little bit about that. How was that experience?
It's a cool experience. And when I started playing in the league as a player, you strived and you wanted to work hard and you wanted to get those first, second team honorable mentions for the league. Our Hall of Fame, they look at how many years you've played in the league, what you have to have a certain number of awards, and you have to be nominated. So it is a special accolade. I'm excited about it. I don't like to be the center of that kind of attention. But the 2024 inductee class, there were three of us. Myself, and then Kaylee, and then Amber, all three off different teams, all three really in different positions. So I'm offensive line. Amber does a lot of rushing, defense style, and then Kaylee kicks, receives. So, I don't know. I don't like to talk about myself, so I'll talk about everybody else.
No, I love it. I mean, that is great. That's a huge, huge accomplishment for doing something like this. But also, have you ever had to change from offense to defense? Have you had to
Did somebody tell you?
No.
So I always say, can I be safety? Well, they tell me no. Mm-hmm. They won't let me be safety. I read the ball well. I'm just not very quick. But occasionally if the other team has a big block, I'll go in and rush or something like that. Jason can tell you I got the last sack in the championship game, so he could tell you that.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. So, but the problem is, and I think everybody in our league knows this, if they snap the ball on 2, I'm already across that line, because look, if you get this freight train going, it's not stopping if the ball's not snapped. Okay? So like everybody else on defense will be standing there and I'm all across the line and the ball's still sitting there. So there's no stopping. So I like to joke, you get the freight train rolling and it's not stopping. So if they don't snap the ball, we might be in trouble.
Oh, man.
Well, I mean, I know you don't want to talk much about yourself, but I've got to ask, are there any passionate volunteer efforts or charities or anything out there that you would like for us to maybe showcase in the future to kind of help spark, an interest in someone else?
I don't even know. That's a real put on the spot.
You have to think about.
I will have to think about that one. I will definitely think about that one.
I know Amanda, she works with Autism Speaks. Mm-hmm. Me being a veteran, I work with Warrior Wishes. And so, usually when you get some players that are doing as wonderful as you do on the field, they tend to see what extra mile you would be willing to go off the field and see if the impact in the community is there to bring up the next generation of young athletic women like yourself to kind of backfill as you guys all retire out Is any of that going on?
So there is. There's been efforts in the past to host clinics and things like that. And I'll tag off a little bit on the slam. The slam really reaches out to the community as that tackle team. But we're all the time all recruiting and talking and just making people aware. Even when we're out at the park at practice, because when it's lighter outside before it starts getting dark earlier, we practice at Tower Grove Park, and there's so many people that come through there. And I'll give Trish props. We'll be like, Coach, here comes a lady. And she'll make a beeline over there to go talk to him, see, just what their name is. Are they interested in playing? Do they want to learn about the league? And so we just spread a lot of it that way as far as our team.
Hey, that's amazing.
That is great. I think people forget how awesome parks are with like marketing and getting yourself out there. I think that's amazing. But I wanted to ask you, with football, what inspired you with football? Like, what is there?
Like, how did I get started playing?
Yes. Well, how'd you get started playing? But talk about your passion of football. Do you enjoy playing, like watching NFL, UFL, any of that?
So I do enjoy watching the NFL. I've only watched, I'll admit, a handful of UFL games, so I need to pick that up. I have a lot of conversations at my real job about football, thanks to somebody some of us know.
My father.
Amanda's frozen with duck lips.
Oh, I am?
Not anymore.
You were not anymore.
Yes, that is my father.
Yes. And I like watching youth football. I like watching my nephew play and go and just see the experiences that they're doing. He'll be 12. So, that's a whole different aspect as well. But how I got started playing, I played on a softball team at Forest Park on a Friday night women's pseudo beer league. And some of the girls that I played with, and then the person who kind of organized or coached our softball team was like, hey, do you want to play football? You're pretty athletic. And I was like, sure. When do you play? So summer softball league. Oh, we play in the fall. I'm like, okay, why not? So I started playing with a bunch of those girls, and I started on a team called the Blades, different team, which Blades has transformed into a kind of folded and transformed into another team. And when that happened, part of that networking and being friends with other people in the league, I called up Trish, called Judge up. Can I come play with you guys? They're like, sure. So for the past 5-6 years, I've worn blue. Before that, I wore green though. So it's just weird how it evolves.
How many more years do we have in the tank, do we think?
If my partner had her choice, I would have retired several years ago. But, I always say as long as I'm enjoying it, I'm having a good time, I'm still physically able to do it, I'm going to stay out here. And even if I'm not playing, I still see myself being a part of the league.
Well, I know we only got a few more precious moments of time left. My final question for you is, do you see yourself with a coaching future?
Potentially. If the opportunity were to present and I would be no longer playing, then I could see myself stepping into a role like that and helping. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I think that'd be great. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You were fun here.
Where can people find you or find more information out about the league and stuff?
So the league has a Facebook page, St. Louis Women's Flag Football League. We put all of our information on there. The game schedules will be on there. When it gets closer to the beginning of the season, into July 1st to August, they will have different sessions or like open field recruiting events where people can come out, almost kind of like a combine. Do some different drills, skills, learn about the game, and then see if they're interested in playing, and then be picked up on different teams. But anybody can jump on, check out the league, ask questions. Pretty responsive on there. See pictures, see videos, all that stuff. So it's cool. I will tell you guys that the UFFL is hosting a tournament here in St. Louis or in the St. Louis region. It's tentatively set for August 30th and 31st.
Awesome.
So it's called the Midwest Classic, and it's the same affiliate to the national that we played in. So, and Amanda, I could hook you up with Aaron, the guy that runs that, if
Yes.
you'd want to learn more about the UFFL and that kind of stuff. So
Yes, absolutely.
he's a good dude. I'm gonna throw him out there, and maybe he'll.
Yes, I love it.
So.
I would love that. And yeah, please send me that info because absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely, fully on board.
Definitely
and
will.
likely be there. Okay. And if
Absolutely.
we'll be there.
Miss Marcy Dotson, thank you so very much
You're
again.
welcome.
Us, and we hope you have a wonderful evening. And we definitely look forward to seeing you back on the show in the near future.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You have a great night.
You're welcome. You too.
Bye, Marcy. She's great.
I love it. I love seeing women get out there in these male-dominated sports and just making their mark. It's phenomenal to see. And it just goes to show that, hey, women can do this too. And we've got our leagues and our lane, and we're just going to blaze through it. This is phenomenal.
Absolutely. I mean, I wish I could play, but I'm too much of a.
You are not. I'm telling you, you've got the grit. Look, we need to make a pact to where, look, I'm 47 and I'm considering it.
Listen, I've had rhinoplasty. My rhinoplasty gets messed up. Oh, that would not be good. And I can pretty much get my rhinoplasty, my nose.
You're killing me, Smalls. Speaking of changes, we've got some phenomenal changes that are happening in the near future. I know that UFL is going to be starting up March 28th, is the opening game between the Houston Roughnecks hosting the. She disappeared. Now her duck lips are nowhere to be. It's just her lips, y'all. Y'all see?
Okay, that's because somebody decided to come down here and start messing with my stuff in the middle of the show.
But no, Houston Roughnecks will be hosting St. Louis Battlehawks, right?
That's right.
Yeah, it'll be the first game. And this season in the UFL, we are going to be having Friday Night Lights.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to that.
So get to your bar near you, or get to your sports facility, or even in your own home and watch. But I am excited for the XFL rules.
Yes, XFL rules are coming back. Go ahead and tell us which ones they are, Amanda.
We have the new kickoff formation. So kickoffs will now start from the 30-yard line after being at the 20-yard line last season, which I do like that. The head coach's challenge will be expanded into the 2025 season.
Nice.
Each coach will earn a second challenge if the first challenge is successful.
So they get to throw that red flag, and if it works, they get a second shot. I like that. That's a great idea. I'm loving to see that even though XFL and USFL combined and they made the UFL, and then NFL kind of took that kickoff to expedite the pace of their league. I'm glad to see that there are still some little teeny tiny sprinklings of XFL throughout it, and the rules are definitely faster paced in the XFL. So when it merged, I was glad to see that it happened. What other rules we got, Amanda?
The onside kicks. The league has eliminated this option. The kickoff team will be able to retain possession of the ball with a 4th down and 12-yard scrimmage play from its own 28-yard line.
And we're still also doing the team that has the lowest score in the fourth quarter can still do that fourth down scramble after they touch down, yeah?
And that is what the St. Louis Battlehawks did to win the game against the Brahmas, the very first game of the season. What was that? 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was pretty phenomenal use of the rules. I was glad to see that it is being put into play. I'm also loving, we're still keeping the after touchdown point system, right?
Yes.
So
Yard line 1 point, 5 yard line 2 points, 10 yard line 3 points.
I love it. It changes the dynamic of the game, and you're not going like you do in the NFL. You're not waiting for, can we get them? If we got the touchdown and then a field goal, we might be able to get them, or a touchdown and then convert two and see if that can happen. It changes the whole dynamic of the point schemes and how far you really have to get ahead in order to make sure that you're competitive and that you keep that lead towards the end of the fourth quarter. I'm loving that aspect of it.
Right. So what do we have? How many days do we have?
How many days?
Yeah, till kickoff.
33? Is that what it is? Well, today's the 26th. 30. Well, technically 32.
Okay.
But yeah, kickoff happening, guys, and you can get on TV and watch it. You can go to a bar and watch it. But honestly, at the end of the day, guys, the tickets are so affordable. It is a wonderful family event, and you get the price of one ticket at an average NFL game. You can get a family of 4 in there and still have some money left over for some snacks and maybe the occasional libation if you are in the mood. Not to mention, not to brag, but the tailgating is pretty exceptional.
Well, right. And so my other question I wanted to ask you is with it coming up this close, how do you feel that ticketing is going, and how do you feel that the marketing is thus far this year?
I've seen more commercials, so I'm liking that aspect of it. I know that down here in Houston and in the Texas area, they've been promoting it a lot more on the local level. I've not seen very many print ads or billboard, but they are ramping up their social media. And we're even going as far as seeing some of a QR code being displayed. I saw that in a few of the fan pages throughout social media. So I'm looking forward to sharing all of that. I know some super fans are even displaying it with an LED placard on their cars. So driving in rush hour traffic, hey, get your season tickets or single game tickets, ufl.com, So I was kind of glad to see that happening. They've had some town halls. The various cities have had different town halls and meet and greets. I was able to go to one last week for the Houston Roughnecks. They were phenomenal. I spoke with Catherine Schultz, and she will be on here next week to kind of give us a little bit more detailed information in that aspect and see where the UFL is planning to drive home for the 2025 season.
Right. And I know the St. Louis had to reschedule their meet and greet a few times because of the weather.
Inclement weather. Yeah, I saw that.
Yes. Single game tickets, obviously, like you were saying, have gone on sale as of February 27th. Single game tickets go on sale, which is that tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Single game tickets go on sale. So, yeah, if you don't have season tickets, go get your season tickets. But most importantly, get your single game tickets and try going to other states and try going to different cities to be able to see these games, because it's huge. And us, the fans, are a lot and a big part of this league. So let's all do our part in going to these games for sure.
I am happy to say that I did get to go to the TDECU stadium where the Houston Cougars play for college football, and that is the home of the Houston Roughnecks. So that is our rig. And that new Jumbotron is phenomenal. We're going to be able to see their nose hairs when
Wow.
they hit the opposition. It is an amazing, amazing addition to the stadium, along with a few little eats and treats. Wonderful barbecue joint that we got to try out, and Trill Burgers, which are a phenomenal Houston staple. You're going to have to get one when you're down here for sure. Of
Mhm.
course, our tailgate's always happy to host our visiting team's super fans. So feel free to reach out to Mr. and Mrs. Predator, the Predator, or the Houston Roughneckers tailgate for further information. We'll definitely be happy to host you guys.
Absolutely. And the tailgates, like the UFL family, like is really a family. Like
It really is.
we really are. And it's always a really good time. And just so that everyone knows too, in St. Louis, that the celebration, the kickoff celebration meet and greet for them is on 314 Day. So make sure
Nice.
you go to that for sure. And big congratulations to Bruce Gronkowski also. We talked about that a while back, but I wanted to congratulate him again. But my biggest thing with, I want to say with marketing that I've noticed this year as opposed to last year is the posts that are being made, I feel like on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram have been a lot more thorough and have been look more legit.
I want to say robust.
Well, yeah, like NFL-ish. Like they look really good.
I don't want to say they're copycatting the NFL because I think that the UFL is definitely doing what they can to make their own mark.
Mhm.
I love that there's better fan interaction. The ticket pricing is phenomenal. The camaraderie is out there. I know that we get the meet and greets on top of player introductions and stuff like that. On the field experiences are amazing. And they're even going above and beyond with having themed games to include kids, whether it's Easter or Mother's Day like it was last season, Memorial Day for the veterans. They make it a point to be sure to include the community. And I love to see that. It just flies over in spades in comparison to the NFL.
And you know what I hope they do this year, which they've done a few years ago when Hazlitt was there, was the round table with the coaches. And there's so many new coaches and even offensive coaches, defensive coaches that have come into the UFL this season that I think it would be really great to highlight those new coaches, to do like a round table with them, but also with the new coach in Memphis. Like doing a round table with them and doing that banter that they had between them, I thought was really cool. But it was also getting to know them on a professional and personal level. Thought that was really cool. So I really hope that they do that again. I know that the players are reporting this week. Yes?
They are reporting in this week.
Yes.
And training camps are going to be starting next week. And I can't say too much about it, but it's very possible that I might be attending a couple of the training camps or even some of the scrimmages. So we'll see. Fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed. I want to try to get as much information out there as possible for you guys to make sure that you all are ready for the upcoming season. And man, I can't wait. I really can't wait.
And big shout out to all of the women in the UFL too, whether
Yes.
they're behind the scenes, on the field. They had the first female coach of the Eagles won the Super Bowl like this year, and I thought that was phenomenal. And I think it would be really, really cool to see more females on the field deserving to go on and raise their hand in that championship game too. So I really hope that UFL continues to highlight the females of the league because they deserve that for sure. And shout out to Danny Garcia. I Love all of her motivating posts. I think that they're great. They're very inspirational for young women and women that want to be involved in the game of football. I think it's really cool. And I think that she is a huge part of where people like the Logos and St. Louis Slam and all that. I think that she's a big part of
Paving the way, yeah.
paving the way for their success too.
And even Marcy and the other players that are playing now, I feel like I missed my opportunity, that I was just born too soon, but who knows? Maybe not. Maybe I'll do one season just so I can say, yes, I was a professional football player. just to be able to say that's kind of a cool thing, But not only that, I want to be able to show people that yes, it can be done. And if you do set your mind to it, you can push and strive for anything that you set your mind to. I think these women are not only beautiful on the outside, they're absolutely beautiful on the inside, and their athleticism is beyond comparison when it comes to the dedication and the hard work that they put in for these leagues. And just like we're fighting for keeping the UFL around, we're also making sure here, at least on the A team, that women are being thrown up into the spotlight, because a lot of times we don't like to brag about ourselves and we like to keep ourselves in the background. And that's one of the reasons I do this show week in and week out, to make sure that you women out there know that, hey, it can happen. We can make it happen, and I'll shout it from the rooftops on your behalf to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So will Amanda,
And
even with the dark lips.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. Of course, I do that face all the time. I can't even help myself. But we need to have Mert Davis come back on too, because she's another huge inspiration for the St. Louis Slam. Obviously, as a lot of you know, she's for them. And she's great. And having her on, and then having Taylor on, that was great. She plays for the Slam. So, it's just seeing these women evolve.
Right.
Is the coolest part, I think, too. But they're players, man. They can play.
Speaking of evolution,
yes,
a lot of the new players for UFL
made us
coming in,
yes,
are phenomenal. I've seen a lot of trades happen. I've seen a lot of pickups happen.
A lot of NFL players too.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to bring up. A lot of the NFL players are coming into this and using this as a means to stay active and continue on with their career. And I think it's a phenomenal thing. I'm looking forward to what UFL future holds for sure.
Absolutely. So everyone tune in to the kickoff game soon. Do you have anything else for us tonight?
Man, other than, the fun little fact.
Yeah, go for it.
Did y'all know that there are 32 teams in the NFL?
32.
32. Mm-hmm. Isn't that wild? I know, it's one of those crazy things. Now, one other fun fact about it is that it will never, ever be an odd number. And that is because we have the two divisions. We have an NFC and an AFC. And in order to keep balance between AFC and NFC, we will have to bring teams on in each division in order to maintain our scheduling. So you'll never see an odd number of NFL football teams. I don't know why. I just thought that was kind of interesting.
Okay.
With that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. You can always find us on FUEL Fuel Sports Network on your Roku devices and Amazon Fire Sticks. Feel free to reach out to us on Facebook. My name is Amber. That right there is my best friend, Amanda. We are the A Team, and we thank you so very much for tuning in on this Woman Crush Wednesday on A Team. Hope to see you feeling better soon, RC. We missed you this show. We know that you'll get out here for next week. And for the rest of you guys, take care and be safe, man. Until then, we'll see you later.